Things are wrapped up here in Leogang for the UCI Downhill World Cup Round 3. Great to have you with us. For the B-line, Josh Carlson is here. Reese Wilson has taken a step over to the punditry booth to chat to us about what he's seen out there. And Sasha Ernest joins us for the very first time for our live show. And also for the B-line, let's get to the first event of the day. It was the women's elite race.
Gracie Hemstreet leaves the start hut in Leogang and goes on hunt for 2 from 2. 1.2 seconds faster at the first split for Gracie Hemstreet. She's back at it again. 1.8 now at the second split. Where's she find that much time up there? Huge jump for Hemstreet.
Look at the speed coming through here. Riding with a great level of anticipation, launches into the steps. Gracie Hemstreet is firing here.
She just has that flow that makes every racetrack look like her local racetrack. 2.7 seconds faster now for Hemstreet.
2.7, she is flying through here. Look at the visible difference in speed. Getting over those routes, charging home. This is a fantastic run.
Is she going to make it 2 wins on the bounce? Is she going to win in Leogang? Gracie Hemstreet heads for home and heads towards the hot seat. 3.1 seconds faster than that time of Marine Caberu. Anna Newkirk leaves the start hut. This track running extremely fast as the American national champion hits home up top. She's a second faster now at the third split. Anna Newkirk, this is starting to look good for the American. She's 0.4 of a second back though at the fourth split.
I think that speaks to Gracie's time. She tore this apart, so she's in touch. We're in for a race.
We're in for a race. She's got one double to go. She's almost clipped the tree then.
Has Anna Newkirk done enough here in Leogang? Crosses the line and goes second by 0.8 of a second. Nico Malali nods his approval. Valentina Hall, its local hero, the hero of Austrian downhill. Wow, speed through there as the flares go off on the motorway for Valentina Hall. A home favourite looking to overcome the Canadian from Norco Racing Division. 1 second fast at the third split. Valentina Hall in the red zone now, 180 beats per minute. This is how heavily she's working, but she's 1.2 seconds back on the time of Gracie Hemstreet. Valentina Hall all of a sudden has a whole lot of work to do. Down to the line in Leogang, Valentina Hall goes third fastest by 2.4 seconds for the second race in a row in 2025. Gracie Hemstreet takes the win for Norco Race Division. Anna Newkirk is second.
Gracie Hemstreet with a second straight win. Last weekend, she became the first Canadian woman to win a World Cup, and she's done it all again, making it look so smooth and easy in the home of Valley Hull, in front of Valley Hull's home crowd, Sasha. I mean, we're just watching how smoothly, well, both of those women were riding, all three, including Anna Newkirk, of course, were riding. How impressed were you by their runs today?
So incredibly impressed. I was watching them in awe, basically. And to me, I take it as a good learning curve, especially like in my first year, to really watch and dissect their runs and how I could improve myself and my riding, basically, to a track which I haven't ridden very much because I crashed. But yeah, these women were on top form today, and yeah, they were just buttery smooth throughout it all.
Which bits were you picking out particularly that were especially clean?
Gracie's tree section, she gained so much time over the other women, and especially that sector 5. Just all the late braking and how like she could get over all the niggly bits and float just into the section so smoothly. I'm just, look at her go.
Oh, buttery smoothness, Reese, is the kind of stuff we dream of, right? How impressed were you to see her go back-to-back like that? Because we talk so much about kind of the injury potential and how tough it is to get the body ready as well in such a short space of time.
Yeah, I mean, I was seriously impressed with Gracie last week with how aggressive she was charging the steep stuff towards the bottom of the course. And I think everybody kind of expected that again this weekend, and she fully delivered. Like, her lower section was beautiful, to be honest, and with such aggression, and like Sasha says, to keep it so smooth and so controlled, it's kind of been rarely seen, I think, in the female field, and she's probably definitely got them all thinking like, okay, we're going to need to step it up a little bit. You know, she looked like she was a step above the rest these last 2 weeks in the steeper stuff, so she doesn't really seem to have a weakness. I think she's really fighting her way towards being an overall challenger. For somebody so young and technically inexperienced, pretty impressive.
The aggression that she applied to this course and the way she just took it on, Josh, it was awesome, and it feels like a breakthrough for her, but also a breakthrough for Anna Newkirk, who backed up a second place finish last year here with another one today, and from two rounds ago as well.
Yeah, that momentum's growing for Anna Newkirk. They've got a great bike underneath them with frameworks, and I think that's her. She's getting more and more confidence on every type of track. She knows she can do well here, but she did a great result in Ludenville just a couple of weeks ago, or in Poland. So we're at the start of a long season. So that confidence will grow and build, and she knows she can compete now. She's not just here to attend. Now she's fighting for these podiums, and she's going to show up to Val di Sole, not with the idea of just qualifying. Now she's like, right, this is the process. I want that podium come Saturday afternoon. That's my goal. Whereas before, maybe it was different. Maybe she's always had that mindset, but now she's growing into that confidence, and she can approach the weekend a little bit differently. The Gracie Hemstreet 2 weeks in a row for a young athlete, not only to win one. I think Jackson, we maybe expected that. He's done it before, but Gracie, she won the week directly after. It's a testament to the team, I think. You got to think Greg Minar is looking after that team. They've got a big group of people around them that have been there, done that, and they know how to succeed and how to create professionals. And that's what Gracie is doing 2 weeks in a row.
And you know, my stat, man, it's the first time a woman's done that at back-to-back races since Farley Hall did it. So it says something about the kind of caliber and quality and the kind of champion that we potentially have in Gracie Hemstreet. Now, Sasha, we got to mention Valley Hole because, of course, we're recording this right after the race, so everyone's gone home now. But the signs that were out there, we had these Valley Hole is Jesus kind of signs because this Austrian crowd were here to hoping to see her win. What did you make of what she did out there?
Yeah, she's definitely their Jesus here, I'd say, in any sort of way that's not offensive to any religion.
Thank you. Yes. So the key point is that she did it out here in front of her fans. She had a lot of pressure on her.
And yeah, she proved that she still is back here, back on the podium, which is still amazing for her. But like we said before, we just expect so much of her, and that's almost the same with Loic, expecting so much. But a podium to them is still a podium. We're all just athletes at the end of the day, all humans who want to do the best.
That's a beautiful point. Exactly. Yeah, we're kind of talking down on it but we've seen Valley Hole go to such great heights. But in the end, a third place finish means she's still in the third overall in the standings as well. So, and as you pointed out, also, you know, it's a 10-stop season on the World Series. So she's got plenty of time to pick up those points.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, she laid down a championship ride today. She's not racing for race wins, and these guys don't need to race for race wins anymore because of the new schedule. They're unprotected. Weather's going to affect races eventually. Punctures are going to affect races eventually. There's so much more to come. This is honestly only the tip of the iceberg, and for Valley, for Amarie, they're going home perfectly happy. They're sound, they're healthy, they're not a million miles away from points, and there are going to be a lot of spanners thrown in the works this year. So I think Valley done everything she needed to do today. We'd all love the fairy tale story to go to her home race and win. She would have loved that. She's done it in the past. You can't do it every year, but it was a championship ride. She didn't make any stupid mistakes, and she's going on to Val di Sole strong and healthy.
Healthy is key. Yeah, we all remember that 2023 when that was unbelievable, though, her and Andy Kolb doing that. Let's hear from her after today's third place finish.
Valley, congratulations. A brilliant result here at your home race. We know that you have won the past 2 years, so what's going through your mind right now?
I mean, obviously I'm quite disappointed. I mean, it would be nice to win again in front of the home crowd, but it's also a massive ask. At the same time, I feel like the last 3 races, I'm battling through all the hard things I never had to even deal with the couple last years as a elite racer. So yeah, just ticking off the boxes and just living through it and trying to deal with it even if the days are tough.
And what are those challenges?
Well, like first time in Poland, I had zero motivation. I didn't even want to go to the start. I still had to do it. I mean, obviously I love racing bikes, but that's it. Then this Tuesday I had a massive migraine attack, and like I never had stuff like this before, and you're barely sleeping, you're trying to do everything right, but here I am, 3rd place. It's sick.
Still some vital points, but talk us through that run, because you did come out firing, you lost a bit of time at the end.
Yeah, actually I had a big mistake at the top, so I had to go all around the grass corner. So I was like trying to catch up, and then at the bottom I just lost focus. I didn't want to crash, and there were so many people cheering, and normally I don't hear them cheering, but this time I was like, wow, it's so sick, there's so many fans. But I didn't really focus on the main thing, and yeah, I wish I could go back up again and do another run, but stoked for Gracie again.
It also just shows that the level in the women's elite is just building week in, week out, isn't it?
100%. Also Anna being super consistent, so yeah, it never gets easier, that's for sure.
Well done today.
Thank you so much.
The thoughts then of the Queen of Austria finishing in 3rd place and sitting in 3rd place in the overall standings after that amazing performance today by Gracie Hemstreet, who leads the way after 3 rounds in the UCI Downhill World Cup. Time now to see how the men got on.
Bruni has it all to do here in Leogang. Alien conditions for this man, but one of the very best riders to ever do it. 11 UCI Downhill World Cups to his name. Hugely fast through there from Loic. Bruni needs to get back in touch with Amaury Piron in the overall title hunt. Piron now has that green jersey, but what's the second split gonna tell us from the defending overall title holder here? He's faster by 9/10 of a second. Bruni up top now. Can he get into the hot seat? Bruni rocketing down towards it here in Leogang. Goes absolutely huge off the finish line jump. Bruni crosses the line. Fastest by 1.1 seconds. That is a champion's ride, Ken. Henry Kiefer, man on screen now, has already got further than he did last time out in Ludenville, caught up in that start hut drama whenever it was actually believably bent chainring, Josh. 4/10 of a second back at the 3rd split for Henry Kiefer. He's looking really good, Josh, as this season goes on.
He's looking really good. My goodness, I wish I could tell you how steep that section is. They're doubling down. He's looking great. He's been putting in an insane amount of work to prepare for this season. He's won tabletop. He's under the bridge. He's going to bring it into the finish. Henry Kiefer.
Here comes Henry Kiefer for the Canyon Collective now. Crosses the line. Nice. 3rd place for him. Half a second off in 3rd place. Here we go for the Santa Cruz Syndicate then. Jackson Goldstone, the winner of the last round in Ludenville last weekend, hits the course here in Leogang. Jackson Goldstone flowing through that route section. He's got another big steep pitch after this left-hander, and then it's out on the motorway, and he's going to fight all his better impulses to keep that Santa Cruz V10 glued to the deck, piddling mid-air before he even gets out of it. Huge! 1.3 seconds faster. Jackson Goldstone just getting into the right gear mid-air there, and he's going to fire right out of this tunnel and hit the motorway properly.
Yeah, if anyone could pull it back, Jackson can at this lower section here. 0.05 of a second back is nothing with a couple of corners to go.
Across that huge gap jump, Jackson Goldstone down towards the line now for the Santa Cruz Syndicate. The winner of the last round goes fastest by 0.05 of a second. Canada get their second double win, 2 races in a row. Jackson Goldstone is making 2025 his own. Goldstone, Bruni, Kiefer, Stevens, McNabb, Greenland, Dunn, Brosnan, Kolb, Deprella, Hartenstern. 1.8 seconds covering the top 10.
And the awesome news off the back of that is that we have motocross star Ken Roczen with us in the Beeline studio. Ken, what are you doing here?
I'm having a great time. That's what I'm doing. Quick trip, but great time. Lots of jet lag, but I'm having a good time.
And I don't know if people would have seen from the wide shot just a moment ago. You're not looking too fast just now.
Yeah, no, I'm a little slow at the moment. A little bit of a bummer because in the last couple of years I did have injuries. Last year was my knee, so I was on crutches for a while. So it seems like every time that I can do my hobbies and I have off time, kind of limping around. But it is what it is. You know, we're keeping the spirits up.
Good on you. And you joined us in the commentary booth as well for most of the, well, not how much of the men's did you do in the end?
The last 15,
yeah, maybe
10 to
20.
15.
Yeah, 15 or 20.
Yeah, it was about as long as that. So you've had a serious bit of exposure to commentating on downhill mountain bike racing. How did you get on with it?
It's a little nerve-wracking because it is something new. I've done it a bunch for my sport, but because there are quite a bit of similarities, so it felt quite natural. You know, I hope I didn't sound too much like a squid. But hey, we made it happen. So they kept me on the whole time, so there's got to be a good thing.
Exactly. We kept asking questions. We threw him under the bus. He gave us some intel back. I think you did a great job, mate.
Okay.
And I do
Well,
apologise. You came in when we were definitely excited and a couple of Red Bulls deep. So.
And there is an ejector seat in there, so if you had been absolutely terrible,
they would have put me straight back to Munich to fly home. Huh?
We didn't tell him that though, so.
Yeah, that might have been quite convenient. Yeah, and so what was your favourite bit today? What got you really off your seat?
Well, honestly, like in general, I'm kind of a busybody. I love riding mountain bikes. I ride a lot of Enduro when I'm in California, in St. George, Utah. That's where my wife's family's from. So honestly, the bummer, I would really want to go and ride everywhere. It's beautiful around here. You got a lot of, and you know what the cool part is too? You can actually take a gondola up and you don't have to pedal up, you know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun. But no,
Such
overall,
a motorbike rider.
I know, right? No, I'm actually, you know what? I'm the opposite because people always associate dirt bikes and then e-bikes right away, and I'm always like, no, I want to ride a normal bike. So I do actually enjoy the pedaling up because the downhill is the fun part, but I can kind of mix training and suffering pedaling up with some fun going downhill. So, but overall, I mean, you know, you look at the scenery right here, it's really hard to not have a good time. And then at the same time, I feel right at home. You know, we got the pits. It's literally like being at a dirt bike race, just without the engine. So I do feel quite at home, but it's nice to see some familiar faces and meet new ones as well. And yeah, I mean, it's a bummer that it's only a couple of days for me being here. So hopefully next time I can stay a bit longer, do some riding myself.
You are always welcome back, Ken. And Reese, we had you in the studio for the end of the show today because unfortunately you weren't out there in the men's elite finals. What did you take away from our race?
Yeah, I mean, the same as every race, just the pace this year is insane. I do have one question for you, Ken. Well, I guess it's two questions wrapped in one. What would you say from a motocross rider perspective, what's the most relatable and what's the most unrelatable thing whilst watching the race? Was there a part, you know, that was like, I don't get that, I don't understand, vice versa?
So I think it's more similar than not. And I think, you know, when you guys look at the track, line choice is super important, right? You got a bunch of options to take. And that's the same thing what I do. I think a lot of people ride kind of narrow-minded and they just look at what's right in front of you. So when we have our sight laps, when we're about to go out racing, I ride really wide-eyed because people tend to go the shortest way around the track. Obviously, we have a motor to rely on, right? So that helps. But if you open up the track, you know, you can make it miserable on yourself and not have the flow and be way too slow, using way too much effort. Or if you gel well with the track and you're loose, your line choice, and you can make things so much easier, you know? So I think the similarities when it comes to line choice and looking ahead and you want to, you know, kind of use the apex and set your turns up instead of going in tight, and you don't have a motor to rely on but your legs. So if you want to make up time, you better have some tree trunks on you to make it up, you know what I mean? So I think there's more things that are similar than not, you know, if I'm being honest. And of course, the difficult part is that when you get your main run, you get one run. So to be at the very top, there is no riding conservative, you know what I mean? So you just got to eliminate those mistakes. And we were talking about it earlier, you know, when I look at the track, I figured that it would be a lot more difficult having faster sections up top going into a tight technical section, because I know when we always ride Supercross, it's very tight, a lot slower in speed. So then when I go motocross, you don't have the speed and adjusting the eyes. So I can only imagine coming into the tight section, being a little bit too eager, used to the high speed and overcooking the turns, basically overriding it. But then you have to hook the anchors and then kind of restart your momentum. So I just feel like knowing that and thinking ahead and just adjusting on the fly with the snap of a finger is what I would focus on, you know what I mean? So those are just some things that I take away. But I need to gather some experience riding. So then I can hopefully give a little bit more info.
See, look, you mentioned before, like you haven't ridden a downhill bike, but you're keen to, and you can immediately see the hunger and that competitiveness to get back on the bike. What do you think you would focus on when you get back on the bike for the first time? Would it be enjoyable, or do you think that analytical mind, that elite mind, would snap straight into gear as soon as you got on it?
It's a little bit of both, to be honest, because I know what it has to feel like when I'm riding really well. Same with mountain biking. So it kind of comes back pretty naturally. So there's just a time and place to looking at, hey, what can I do better? Where can I go faster? What can I change, you know? But I also know after racing professionally in my sport for 15 years now, over 15 years, that there's a time and place for it. So it just depends what stage you're at, right? Like I'm coming back from injury, so my mindset's a little bit different. And like I said, I know what it has to feel like for me under the helmet and behind the goggle to be at the top level. So yeah, it just kind of depends where you're at, you know?
And today we've got a couple of minutes now on the race itself, Josh, and today we saw Jackson Goldstone do it again out there, and Rhys said it's kind of like a victory for the lighter, more technical guys. Is that how you saw it?
I think so. I mean, Jackson's proven to be so good in so many varied conditions. He's won in Mont-Saint-Anne before, which is a beast of a track. Leogang, it's a tale of two halves. It's not the steepest track, it's not the fastest track, but it's a bit of a Goldilocks right in the middle. And Ludenviel, what he did last weekend, I mean, the details that he pays attention to, those intricate moments that makes a difference. We saw some moments in the commentary booth that he ripped around some corners unlike anyone else. And when you focus in on that, you can really see how much time he's gaining and how much quicker he's going incrementally in every single section. We mentioned before that Rhys was paying attention to the details, and that's what it takes to compete at the top. It's not the big things. Everyone does the big things exceptionally well. Everyone works out, everyone's fit, everyone's strong, but those little minute details is what really matters, and that's what Jackson's showing weekend after weekend now. So it's a big warning shot to everyone else to step up.
Can you tell us, without revealing too much of your
No, reveal it all. Tell me exactly what you're going to do in 2 weeks in Italy.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love Italy. Luckily for us, we have an extra week off. There's a lot of people walking around battered and bruised, and like you said, when you're talking about little things, these little injury niggles, hand niggles, ankle niggles, we've all got little bits and bobs, and you know, that's another one of those things. The travel between Ludenviel and here was so tight for everybody. We spent basically 17 hours driving in a van. Some people went to Toulouse Airport, all the flights got cancelled. Like,
Don't
all of
talk
these,
to me about Toulouse Airport.
Yeah, all of these things add up. There was nightmares for people, so you turn up already a bit pent up, stressed, you've not slept great, you go maybe 3 or 4 different beds in 1 week, so you don't get solid sleep, and then you've got to get up there and compete at your absolute best. That's the things on, I guess, all professional sports that you don't actually see from the outside. Same with these guys in the US, jumping on flights and flying here, there and everywhere, every week, all the time. That part of it is honestly savage. It's probably harder than the racing itself sometimes. So,
and we're lucky to have both you here. Well, unluckily you're both injured, but you've got a hand injury now, you've got to recover from 2 weeks, you're recovering from a foot. That process is not just physical, is it? It's mental, it's your whole nervous system, the family, the team, everyone somewhat suffers from that injury, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've both been there 100 times, I'm sure, a lot more times than we'd like to be. But yeah, your support crew is extremely important in times like these. And for me, starting my own team this year, we're fairly down on staff, to be honest. And everybody's doing hybrid roles. We've got a mechanic that's kind of trying to be a physio as well, and one chef cooking for basically 16 people. Everybody's really stressed. So when you have 2 races like this back to back, it's piled up on everybody. And it's I've been loading the dishwasher, unloading it, doing the dishes, and helping where I can. Exactly, yeah. It's what you have to do. You have to chip in and make it work. So everybody's dealing with different things, but there's a saying, when the gate drops, the bullshit's up. So take the S back.
Well, I just said up there too. Yeah.
And the bill stops. It's a good saying. It's a proper one.
It is.
And you have a similar scenario with your team, right? You built your own team this year. You've stepped away from that full factory scenario with all the pressure, but now it's more pressure. And an injury like that affects the family, the kids, the team, the prep.
Well, the thing is, like, you know, you're at your elite level, you get taken out by something like that, and then we're usually go, busy. Well, then sitting at home on the couch, not being able to do anything, man, that's tough, especially when you're a busybody, right? So, and then you literally see, you know, with a leg injury or whatever, you see your leg shrinking week after week. Well, what that means, you can't just, once you can train again, you're not just going to go back to what, you know, you have to get back into balance. You have to shift your weight over. I've had all my weight on my left leg, so that's just stuff that doesn't happen overnight. So it's more so the road of starting slow, starting little, and you got to be patient, you know, just to get everything back aligned before you can actually get back to full-blown training, or else you just tip over. The balance of your body is just not the same. So it's those things. You don't just go back from an injury and all of a sudden you're back to doing whatever you can. It's all the stuff you have to do to, you know, have a proper body if you want to get back to the top.
Gents, amazing to have you both with us. Although I know it's not under circumstances you would both necessarily prefer, but get well soon.
Thank you.
And we hope you'll come and see us another time as well.
Thank you guys for having me out. I've had the best time. I will be back. I hope I'll be able to let back in. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let you back in. Maybe.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's all I wanted to know.
If you pick the winner again, you can come back.
You are welcome anytime. Let's hear from that winner then. Backing up his victory last weekend, it is Canada's Jackson Goldstone.
Jackson Goldstone back again with that gold standard. Back-to-back wins. You are shaking like a leaf. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm really good, actually. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it again. I was, I was feeling good all week, and I was trying to get to that top guys, and I feel like I start slow, and then my race runs come together really nice. So, yeah, I gave it everything like always, and pushed as hard as I could, and oh my God, just pipped Loic, and he put down such a good run, and it's crazy to see how tight the times are these days. So, yeah, big congrats to everyone.
You lost time on the motorway, but you killed it in the woods. You knew that was going to be the situation. You were prepared today.
Yeah, I pulled a good enough motorway, and I said this last week, and I said it again. I have to focus on my strengths and try and make up time where I can't. And yeah, oh my God, I don't even know what to say.
You're now equal on career wins, 4 career wins with the late Stevie Smith. I know he's a hero of yours. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I cannot believe to achieve the same amount of wins as Stevie Smith. He was such an inspiration for me, and I was if I came down last, I would have thrown the bike exactly like he did, and I wish I was able to, but oh my gosh, it's he had such a good ride here back in the day, and I'm really proud to do that for him.
You are now officially the man to beat. You've got a target on your back. How does that feel?
Yeah, definitely. Loic said he's not going to speak to me for a week after this, so I hope that's not true, and I hope we're still friends. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe how the start of the season's going.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Jackson Goldstone does the double and finally wins in Leogang in front of this adoring Austrian crowd. We are moving on to Italy, Reese. That means there's going to have been 3 races in 4 weeks barely. This is a huge challenge for all of the downhill mountain bike races that we see do this week in, week out. What impact do you think it's going to have heading into the next 2 weeks?
It's the biggest race season I think we've had since I started, which is nearly a 13, 14-year career. It's 10 long rounds of racing spread out, and this first, as you said, 4 rounds is well packed in. So if you have injuries, if you have niggles, if you have bothers, this 4 weeks has been pretty flat out. So yeah, coming into Val di Sole, we get a nice little break. A week doesn't seem like much, but it's actually a lot to us. It's a lot of time to go and get ourselves healed up, but you need it for Val di Sole. It's probably the roughest, if not, yeah, I'm going to say the roughest. It's definitely the roughest track of the year. It's super steep. It's really hard on bikes. It's really hard on the arms. Guys are going to be needing to be fully recharged for this one.
Well, we saw Amaury Piron way down the field today, but of course we know what magic he can visit on Italy. What do you think, Josh? We've watched Jackson Goldstone go back-to-back. Do you see him doing it again?
Yeah. I mean, Val di Sole's the one that he won back in 2023, and Amaury rode with a weird level of struggle today. He didn't have that anticipation like we've seen from him before, that effortlessness. Maybe it was the leader's jersey. Maybe it's the back-to-back races. There's a bit of sickness going through the camp. Miriam was sick earlier in the week, so you just don't know. Maybe that affected him a little bit. We're also at the end of a big start block to the season. Coming into Val di Sole, this next 2 weeks are crucial. I would like to know what Reese Wilson's going to work on. As you mentioned, these intricate details. You've had a great insight into what it does take to get on the in that top 30 now. What are you going to work on these next 2 weeks? What's your focus point?
I'm going to go do some heavy squats. I'm going to eat plenty, and I'm going to ice up this hand and get it good.
How bad is the hand?
It's got a bit of bruising, but it's honestly not bad. I don't think anything's broken. I might get an X-ray at home if I can't do a press up in a few days.
It's pretty purple. I'd say I'd get an X-ray.
No, it's pretty decent. I think I might.
Is it always that big?
No, it's not. This is unusual. So yeah, I'm going to go home, get that checked out, but honestly, just get back to the grind again, head down. I really don't think I'm doing anything wrong. It's just everybody else is doing things that much better. And yeah, with the new team, with the new bike, with everything that we've got going on, there's a lot of tiny little percentages to be found, and a lot of them aren't actually related to me, my bike, or my training. It's loads of other things outside the picture as well. So we're going to go home and we're going to work hard and we're going to turn up and we're going to grind and keep going round for round for round. There's a lot of racing to go.
I think Val di Sole might be a bit of a round for the Aon Racing team, so I'm excited to see it.
I think it definitely suits us, our bike, and all our riders. We're all very excited for it, so fingers crossed for some good luck there.
Well, best of luck to you and to all of you, because you have been providing pundits for the show. Harry Harnden racing today was great to see, but we hope to see you going well in Italy as well. Rest up, and thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you, in the politest possible way. I hope I never see either of you again this year.
Well, that hurts.
I'd like to see you for an interview at the end, and that's it.
Well, he's
Fair
not.
enough.
He's not saying that to all of you back home. Obviously, he loves your adulation. So keep on bringing it to the UCI Downhill World Cup, and we will see you for the next one in Italy. We also have racing for you in the XCO on Sunday. Catch you then.